Okay. Oh, am I live? Is it working? I can't see myself yet. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Hi. Okay, so there's like a split-second delay. Hey, dudes. Thanks for joining me. Seems weird to tell you who I am because I figured that you probably know. Is everybody, can you hear me? Is this working? Okay. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Byron. It seems like it's working. Okay, I'm gonna start. All right. Hi. How's everybody doing? How are y'all doing? What's going on, dudes? We're actually doing pretty well, considering this is just like such a bizarro time that we live in all of a sudden. And I'm going to share with you a recipe that I've been making a little too often, according to my butt. It's vegan, which before everyone's like, vegan food sucks. A, it doesn't. And B, there's so many people that don't have eggs or butter or milk right now. And I know that cake seems like a little luxurious. It's a little Marie Antoinette-ish. Oven's ready. But I do think that it makes you feel like things are kind of normal. And if you have a kid at home, baking projects are a great way to pass the time. Isn't that right, Chef Baby? Look at this guy. He's 5.5. He's not even a baby. Okay, so this is a banana cake that I have these two very gnarly bananas that Flinty's gonna mash up for me, right? Okay, good. And I've got my dry ingredients.
I'm not good at mashing up stuff.
You're great at mashing up stuff. What are you talking about? I've got my dry ingredients here. I've got 2 cups of flour. I used a white whole wheat flour, like a whole wheat pastry flour, because I'm running low on regular white flour.
When I was mashing up bananas and when we were doing the bread.
I've got sugar. I've got a 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I used mostly brown sugar because that's, again, what I had. We are kind of running low on a lot of stuff, but it's fine. It'll work. And spices, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice. You could use pumpkin pie spice if you just have that sitting around. And salt and baking soda and baking powder. And I just posted the recipe to my website, and I put a link in the little chat thing over here. So I think you should be able to see that on your computer. And I'm going to put this all in here. I should have just started with it in here and saved myself a bowl, but I never claimed I was a genius. Okay, wait, here. You can stir it, but use the whisk. This is a spatula. There you go. Okay, and then I got these like grody old bananas that I've been hanging on to because like very quickly. So Chris and I, it's been 3 weeks now for us that we did our self-imposed isolation, which honestly has been a piece of cake for me compared to most people, I think, because we already worked from home and I like to stay home all the time anyway. This has made me realize that I am a very serious homebody and actually don't ever need to leave my house.
Can I try a little bit of the dough?
You want to taste that dry flour mix?
The dough.
Well, when it's done, yeah, you can try it because there's no raw eggs in it. So I've got these 2 bananas. Oh, but what I was saying is growing up, we were pretty poor, food stamps and stuff. And so I learned when I was growing up, we learned very much never ever waste food. And then I got kind of lazy with it as I got older and I had more money. But so quickly I was like, oh, okay, there's 1 bite of yogurt left. Oh, no, we're going to stick that in the fridge. I'm not going to waste that. So anyway, I've been holding on to these bananas. Not that I ever, honestly, overripe bananas, I always save those. I either peel them and freeze them for smoothies or something, or turn them into banana bread like this. But it was just interesting. I noticed a mental shift very quickly into austerity mode. Oh, we got to save everything. Okay, so we're gonna mix that up. And if you don't have, if you don't have bananas though, you could use applesauce or probably canned pumpkin would work. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried applesauce either, but because we have had a lot of bananas around. You got to use those muscles, dude. Here, stand up taller so you can get more leverage. I'm touching my face. Sorry. Okay, stand up. Now, really ram it.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Use both hands.
But I'm on this side.
Oh, you're all done? Okay.
I'm on this side.
Are you distracted by watching your own face in the computer there? Okay, so got about half a cup here of mashed up banana. I'm trying to think of anything else you could use. I don't know.
Could we add vanilla and cinnamon?
Well, we already added cinnamon, but we are going to add vanilla. You right, son.
I'm gonna add a lot of vanilla.
A lot of vanilla. Okay. I'm going to add some oil, some sort of neutral oil. I mean, I'm using safflower oil, canola oil, light olive oil. You could probably use coconut oil. It would taste coconutty, but I think that would be delicious. Okay, let me get down here, measure this right. You know what? It's probably not really measured right. Don't care. I think it'll still work. I think this will be a fun test. So then I'm going to add some vinegar, and this helps with the rising, similar to if you were using buttermilk. And now I have made this before using like a hemp milk, which I actually have. You could use any kind of non-dairy milk. You could use canned coconut milk. Okay, hold on. Yeah, you can stir it. You could use regular milk if you have it and you're not vegan. I was thinking though that right now I might try this with water and see what happens and see if there's a noticeable difference in the deliciousness or the texture. Just for those of you out there who may desperately need cake but don't have any sort of fake milk product or milk product. So I'm going to take one for the team and put in some water, but I forget how much water. I need to check my own dang recipe. What the heck? Okay, 3/4 of a. Okay, tap water. And then we're gonna add the vanilla. Hey Flint, it's your moment to shine, my love. 1. Oh shoot, sorry, here, you put it in. Such a terrible person.
Huh?
I said you could do it, and then I totally forgot to let you do it. All right, now you can stir it up gently, not to slosh it out everywhere, please. Right?
All right. Why?
Or am I going to stir it?
Me.
Who's stirring it?
Me.
Okay,
All right.
go.
This is a good.
Whoa. Good job.
This won't taste. This part doesn't
Okay.
taste good.
No, this does not taste good yet because all the sugar is in the other container. Container? I mean bowl. Jesus Lord, what kind of cooking show is this? Okay. All right, now, oh, whoa, we lost some of our dry ingredients there, buddy. Whoa.
This will be delicious.
Does it smell delicious? How does it smell? Give it a sniff. Does it smell delicious? Okay, then we still have to add chocolate chips.
Yeah.
What? There's chocolate chips? Heck yeah.
Why was there different voices?
I don't know. I like to make voices. You like to make voices too when you talk to your animal friends. Okay, so we're going to add some chocolate chips. You want to put these in?
Yeah.
Normally I would add...
Why could we not mash them up?
Well, we don't want to mash the chocolate, do we? Normally I would add like a cup of chocolate chips.
Yum,
I think there's probably about a 1/4 cup here, but
yum, yum.
It'll be
I
fine.
have the chocolate chip.
we're out. Yeah, your worst nightmares just come true, dude. Okay. Get out of there. This whisk didn't do me any
You
service.
have to stir
Okay.
it up.
I'm going to stir it up.
I want to stir it,
Okay, you stir it.
but I don't want to be on my ladder right now. It makes it hard.
Okay, I'll stir it.
I want to stir it.
Oh, you want to stir it, but you want to stand down there?
Mhm.
Okay. Kids, man. Am I right? Okay, I'm going to grease my baking sheet. You can taste it. Yeah, just stick your finger in there. We all washed our hands thoroughly for 20 seconds. And also, none of us are sick, and we haven't really left the house in 3 weeks, so we're probably fine. How is it?
Whirly, whirly, whirly.
Whirly, whirly, whirly good. You heard it here first, folks.
I want another finger.
No, just wait till I put it in the pan. So I'm going to grease my little dish here. And I don't know about you, but my hands have been turning into cracked little old lady hands with all this hand washing that we've been doing. So I'm actually pretty excited about getting some good old-fashioned safflower oil rubbed in to my crackling flesh. But I will say that my rings have never been sparklier with all the washing. Although, I don't know. Then I started thinking, like, maybe you're supposed to take your rings off every time you wash, because I don't know. Whatever. We're just going to not go out into public. So if... You talking into the microphone? Okay. So we're going to pour this in here. Looky there. Looky there, y'all. So this ends up being kind of a slightly banana-ish spice cake with some chocolate chips. I think you could add some nuts to it. Okay, and then are y'all getting your questions ready? Because I'm going to put this in the oven, and then while it cooks, I can answer your questions about, like, what to cook with the food that you have in your pantry, like some ideas for how to make stuff out of stuff that you already have. That was just two ways of saying the same thing. Derp. Okay. Let's spread it out just a little. Okay. Can you keep the show going while I put this in the oven, son? I'm counting on you. Yeah. I don't know. Do y'all let your kids do that? I let my kid do it. He's about to do it. Okay. Hold on. I got a greasy hand here. Okay. So cool. Now we can, like, answer questions. Let's see if I got any good cues here. Oh, I should set a timer for 30 minutes. Oh, I wonder if somebody else could do that for me. I think that's, 30 minutes. Okay. So 11:45-ish. All right. Let's see if you got any questions. Okay. Oh my gosh, I never heard Byron says, I remind him of Kimmy Gibbler from Full House, which I actually always thought Kimmy was very cool. So thank you. Okay, I'm seeing lots of hello questions. Oh my gosh, PQ's been surviving on beer and pork rinds. PQ, I mean, that sounds delicious. Don't get me wrong. Oh, corn pudding. That sounds good. Oh, so I did get a few questions. I posted this on Facebook yesterday, which I have not been on Facebook, like, hardly at all in well over a year. But I posted it on there for people if there's any questions. So Jen asked for uses for corn meal. Now, she lives in London, but I happen to know that she is actually American. So I know that she means cornmeal. I always get that mixed up with, like, British versus UK. I mean, British versus the US, like cornmeal. I think they actually, corn flour is their cornstarch. I don't know. I'm talking about cornmeal, like the stuff you make cornbread out of. So actually, spoon bread is a really good way to turn some cornmeal into some actual food. It does require several eggs usually. So if you don't have eggs, it doesn't help you very much. But Johnny cakes, and these are things, I don't have recipes for these posted for all the stuff. If I do, I'll let you know. And then I think I'll also probably do a video playlist. I'll make a playlist after this of, like, pantry food. I may already have one. I don't know. But anyway, so Johnny cakes, which is just you mix cornmeal with boiling water and make sort of a dough out of that, add some salt, and then you fry it in little patties. My mom used to make that for us for breakfast when we were kids. So good, super good. That's a good way to turn cornmeal into food without having a lot of extra stuff. Yeah, spoon bread, all done. Cornbread. I feel like I had another idea. Well, right now we're just going to talk, but you can go play if you want until the cake's ready. Okay, bye.
When it's ready, can I have a little piece of it?
Of course you can have a little piece of it. Let's see. So that was that question. Oh, and then Carrie had a really good question, which I had never even thought of this, was what to do. And I love the way she phrased this, was like, what should I do with the mozzarella brine left in the container? It seems too precious to throw out. And I don't know, Carrie, if that's just what you've been feeling lately, like me with like one bite of yogurt, I'm going to put that in the fridge and save it for later. Or if you've always had that question. But anyway, I never thought about it. I always dumped it out. But I think it would make a really great addition to bread. Like if you are making some kind of bread that calls for milk, you could use that instead. You might want to cut down on the salt because it kind of is a little bit salty. Just to add a little flavor. I imagine there's some protein, some reserved, like, protein that's like leached out into the brine. Also, I think like any kind of feta cheese that comes packed in brine. I was thinking about like the tofu water, but I think tofu water is really just water. I don't think there's really anything in it besides like maybe calcium carbonate or something as a preservative. I don't know. So maybe not tofu. Maybe you don't want to use the tofu juice, but I think mozzarella or feta cheese brine would both be good. Or pancakes, or maybe you could even add it to like chicken stock or something, like to sort of bulk up some sort of vegetable stock and then use that to cook rice or grains. I don't know. Okay, moving on. That was a long ass answer. Okay. So Anne says she needs super basic ingredient recipes without meat or milk or ramen or toilet paper. And I'm so sorry that Anne is not able to eat toilet paper right now. She said she can't get any of that, which the ramen surprised me. I did have to go to the grocery store yesterday to get a prescription and was like quite shocked. I hadn't been to the store in like over 3 weeks at how bare the shelves were. I mean, it is weird. I mean, I'm not like freaking out about it and being like, oh my God, we're never going to get food again. It's just like the supply lines need to sort of be rerouted now. And that will take a little bit of time. So I'm not panicking, but it was just bizarre. It was just really strange to see it. And I got a bag of flour. Like all the flour was cleared out except for the very bottom row of like the Bob's organic, like whole wheat flour cake, because I bought a 5-pound bag of whole wheat flour because I was like 20 pounds thinner and 20 drinks drunker. I don't know. But it's funny. It seems like those two things shouldn't correlate, but I was also 10 years younger. Holy shit. That's when we started Hilah cooking, was in 2010. Anyway, homemade veggie burgers. You can use any kind of cooked bean that you have. You can use any kind of cooked grain that you have, like rice or quinoa or barley, anything like that. If you don't have that, you can just use some dry oatmeal. It does also call for some dry oatmeal, so you can use either or both. There's no eggs in it. There's no cheese in it, although some cheese would be tasty. Some onion, some kind of grated vegetable. If you have it, it's one of the most versatile recipes that I have ever made, and it's become a regular thing for us again in the last 3 weeks. I make veggie burgers twice a week now with just different seasonings and different beans and some seeds or nuts chopped up. They're really good. They always end up really good. I think the key is soy sauce and vinegar. There's a little bit of each of those in there. And I think the vinegar kind of keeps it interesting, and the soy sauce adds like a nice richness to it. So anyway, check out that homemade veggie burger recipe. I've also been making, I have another old video for a vegan chocolate cake, which is very similar to this one, actually. I realized it making it this time. But it's got no eggs, no butter, no milk. And it's actually a pretty dang good cake. I think it actually was a Depression era cake. And I predict that the Depression era recipes are probably surging in popularity right about now. I was thinking about I took this class a few months ago about edible plants, and we did like a hike, and the guy like pointed out all this different stuff that you can eat, like foraging and stuff. So I don't know. I was kind of thinking about like city foraging. I mean, part of me is like, that's a great idea. And I can like walk around our neighborhood and I'm like, oh, look, there's some wild mustard. Oh, look, there's some wild arugula. Like that's food we could eat. But then I'm like, I don't know. Have dogs peed on this? Probably. Have humans peed on it? Maybe. Is it covered in exhaust fumes? Definitely. So I don't know. Part of me is like, is that just gross? But, but I did want to share with you this. Okay. BRB. Okay, so if you are very low on vegetables and you are dying for a green vegetable, you can grow your own sprouts. So I happen to have this little like 1970s style sprouting jar that was my mom's that has like, it's cute. It has like the times that each type of seed takes on it, like oats, 3 to 5 days, sunflower seeds, 1 week, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what it says. But I was going to say, I've had this bag of, sorry, the video quality seems kind of bad right now, but it's because everybody's streaming. But I've had this bag of like sprouting mixed like alfalfa seeds and shit for a while. So I've been using that. But you can totally do this with lentils, sprouted lentils or sprouted chickpeas. And I did a blog post about how to do this a long time ago. So I can put a link to that after this is over. If you hammer a nail and like punch some holes in a metal lid, like the pioneers did it. But anyway, last week when we were totally out of vegetables, having some nice fresh sprouts, curious, even though I'm like, this A cost about 2 cents to make, and B was like just stuff I happen to have plus some sprouts. Anyway, sprouts. What else? Oh, veggie chili. I've also got a recipe on my website for lentil bolognese that does require canned tomatoes. If you don't have those, you're kind of shit out of luck. But if you do have those and you have lentils and you have any kind of vegetables you want to add to it, it's also another very flexible recipe. So let me see if there's any other questions here on YouTube. Oh, good. Yay. Nikki just did some mung bean sprouts. Awesome. Okay. Mark wants to know some easy week vegetables that are easy to cook for my wife and kids. Well, I don't know what you have. I don't know what kind of vegetables you like. But one thing that's a really great way, well, I mean, I don't know how picky your kids are. But one, and my, I don't really like the texture of frozen green beans if you just like steam them or boil them. But if you stew them, they kind of turn into a really, like you're eating something really fancy. So I do like onion, garlic, tomato, cook that in some olive oil, like a pretty hefty dose of olive oil if I'm being, and they'll get super soft. But I feel like with frozen green beans, that's the way they're best. Fresh green beans, sure. Like I love to just like saute them really quickly and keep them nice and crisp and then add like a shit ton of garlic at the end or something. Some chili paste, some sambal paste. So good. But if they're frozen, like just cook them to death, in my opinion. What else? I guess I just feel like with vegetables, I mostly just steam them or saute them with some oil and butter. But like cauliflower, slice and lay them out really thin in a single layer in a big skillet and let them get like kind of charred, and then add some lemon and salt, obviously, and some chili pepper flakes. That's good. And my kid actually will even eat that if they don't make it too spicy. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Brussels sprouts. I have a really good recipe for wasabi Brussels sprouts, roasted Brussels sprouts that I did a video for a long time ago. Also an old video for just how to cook kale with sesame oil and sesame seeds, which is, I mean, you can do whatever you want on it, but I like it with a little bit of those things on it. Let's see. Okay, what else? What other kind of questions? Oh, smart. Yes, Taco Sensei. Taco Sensei says saved all his or her veggie leftovers and made a vegetable broth, which is a great idea. And I do that normally anyway, but I have a bag in my freezer where I just put all my carrot, celery, onion, garlic scraps, really anything except like bell peppery flavors or broccoli flavors, like cruciferous vegetables. But anything else, potato peels, mushroom stems. And then periodically, whenever the bag is full, I'll pull it out and add a bunch of water and just boil it on the stove and make a really nice veggie broth. So that is a great way to conserve your food. I don't have a French dip recipe. I've never made SpaghettiOs. Sorry, I feel like I'm failing now. Do I do any overnight seasonings when I cook a chuck or a Alex? Well, did you miss it? I just said you could sprout lentils. You could sprout some and then eat them raw. You could make lentil chili. Oh, I made lentil tacos a while back. I should make those again. But what did I do? Okay, so obviously onion, peppers, some cooked lentils, and I cook that together and then season it, you know, add spices, whatever. Use your tongue and your mouth hole. Juice or vinegar often. Like if something is just, this is just a general tip across the board. Cooking dinner and you're tasting it and you really feel like you've added enough salt, but it still is just kind of thumbs down. Add some kind of acid, add a lemon squeeze, lime squeeze, a little bit of vinegar. Just start with like a teaspoon. Usually I'll start with a teaspoon or so, and then add maybe another teaspoon if you need it. But a lot of times that's enough to sort of brighten everything up without just having to go like way overboard on the salt. Back to the lentil tacos. So yeah, any kind of tiny vegetable that you have, like grate up a carrot or grate up a zucchini or a butternut squash or a sweet potato, add the lentils, cook that together, maybe some soy sauce to umami boost it, some tomato paste. And don't be afraid to a lot of that umami flavor in it in our tongue once. And lentils don't have it so much. So you add other things like mushrooms, things that have it, but let them get brown, like let them get hard. Sorry, my dad's calling me. I'll call him back. Let them get good and charred. And then at the very end, I add some like chopped walnuts or chopped pepitas or something like that to give it a little bit of crunch. And like it won't stay crispy exactly because it's soften up as you cook. And then slap that mofo in a taco shell. Oh my God, I just said taco shell in a tortilla. I mean, I apologize that everyone who's ever eaten a taco for calling it a taco shell. I mean, I do call it a taco shell if I'm referring to a crispy taco shell, like a fried corn tortilla that's bent like this into a classic taco shape. But otherwise, it's always a tortilla. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. Let's see. What else do I do with the lentils? Christopher? Yeah, lentil bolognese, lentil. Oh, if you have, Indian curries, obviously, dal. One of the simplest ways I know how to make dal is if you have a can of rotel, tomatoes and green chilies, you cook that with your lentils and add like a big scoop of curry powder. Voila. Put it on some rice, put a little scoop of yogurt on top if you got it. You're done. Dinner's served. There's no vegetables, but who cares when it's the apocalypse? Just kidding. I actually do really miss my vegetables when I don't get my greens. Okay, so anyway. Oh, yes. Okay, Cookie Mix says lentil curry and coconut milk. Great idea. Yes, it is for lots of stuff. Oh, am I using a food delivery? Yeah, so 2 weekends ago, I actually did go to the farmer's market. I was shocked at how busy it was. I really thought it was going to be dead. But I guess everybody, either the grocery stores were out of food, I don't know, or people thought it would be safer to be out in the fresh air, which I think it probably is, but it was still just like so many people. I'm like, oh, get me out of here. So this week I didn't do that, but I did order from a company called Grub Market, which is a bad name, unfortunately. I really just don't like the word grub at all, except when it's like, I mean, I just think of the grubs that we used to dig out of the dirt when we were children and like play with. Anyway, but they have it here, obviously in LA. I don't know what other parts of the country they work with, but they do. If you believe what they say, and I do, they work with local farmers for the produce. So you can still support local farmers if you're used to going to a farmer's market and supporting the local farmers, but you're kind of nervous about doing that now. They do that. So I like that. And then you can also add on other like basic pantry kitchen supplies. So I did that for the first time this week. Very happy with it. But I also had like really stocked up on a lot of stuff a few weeks ago. But I think anybody who likes to cook, we always stock up on stuff just because I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I had this jar of chocolate tahini. I'll get it for you, actually. That does like fancy chocolate and stuff. So it's black sesame seeds and cocoa, like cacao. And Oh, it smells so good, but I just had no idea what to do with it. But the other day, I made tahini cookies and used tahini and coconut oil, used this tahini and coconut oil instead of butter. So they also ended up vegan and there's no eggs. Maybe I'll do that next time if I do another one of these. You could do it with regular tahini or probably just almond butter, peanut butter, or whatever. But anyway, like it turned out so delicious. I couldn't believe it. So it's been kind of fun actually digging in my pantry and trying to figure out like what I can make out of random stuff that I find that's been in there for a while. Yeah, so yeah, sorry about the internet. Oh my gosh. I've been watching you since I was 13 and I'm 19 now. Oh my gosh. You started as a baby and now you're a grown up. Yeah, I know. Sorry, the stream kind of sucks. But I think hopefully it's like recording okay. And if there's, you can like go back and watch it on the recording and it'll be better. Okay. Let's see. What else? Okay. Oh, Maureen wants to have hash brown tips on getting the right texture and crispiness. And she says it's kind of nice to actually have time to make breakfast now, which I agree. So I think one of the things is now honestly, my ideal hash brown is from Waffle House. And it's because they're like almost creamy on the inside because they're cooked so much and then they're very crispy on the outside. Now, I'm pretty sure that Waffle House uses frozen potato hash browns, which have already been cooked. So that's part of it. Like you're not starting with raw grated potatoes, you're starting with cooked grated potatoes, which does make a huge difference. So if you have the time, you can bake a few potatoes, let them cool, and then grate them, and then fry them, and they'll be crispy, and it won't take as long. They'll just like zoop, zoop, zoop. One thing I used to do when I would do home fries, and this was my old home fries video too. God, I'm referencing like a lot of old videos, and you know what it is? It's because when we started the show, I mean, and always I do recipes for food that I actually cook almost all the time, except like McDonald's McGriddles. I mean, I don't make those ever. I don't think I've made them since we made the video. But my point is, my point is when we started, I was mostly vegetarian and I didn't have any money. So all the stuff that we made is all stuff that I'm like going back to now because I'm like, okay, what potatoes up, microwave them until they're tender, and then fry them, and then they get super crispy while being cooked all the way through. But if you want to do hash browns and you want to start with raw grated potatoes, then do that grating thing, and then get your oil really hot. And I think the key there is to not pack it super thick. Like really just maybe like less than a ½ inch thick of potatoes, and you can make little like mounds if you have a big griddle, and let them cook. They're very, very, very done. Very brown, and they'll kind of start to stick together, and then the whole thing like a pancake. And then and let them cook a little bit longer and let the steam come up and get them all cooked through. And then I like to crank the heat up again at the end and get them nice and sizzly. And also use way more oil than you think you should. Use a lot of oil. That's probably the secret tip, is that you have to use a whole lot of oil. And I always try to think I'm going to make them be healthy, but I never am. Oh my gosh, Brad Lawrence. Whoa. Hey, Brad. Let's see. Did I mention the young ones yet? I don't know what that means. Okay. If I could only pick up 5 things from the grocery store to live on for the apocalypse, what? That's a good question. Okay. I'm assuming you don't mean I can only have one of each of these 5 things. I'm assuming you mean I can have as many as I want. Okay, I would do I have a freezer? I'm assuming I also have a freezer. Maybe I shouldn't assume that. But right now we all have freezers as far as I know. Frozen spinach. I find that once you cook it is one of the most versatile frozen vegetables because you can just put it in with anything. Put it in with cheese, you can stuff mushrooms with it, like you can do all kinds of shit with frozen spinach. Let's see, lentils. short grain brown rice, which is my favorite type of rice. I feel like I need a healthy fat, maybe like coconut milk. That would probably be a smart one because then I could do like Thai curry or Indian curry. Well, I don't have any spices because it's the apocalypse, but I could make food that doesn't taste terrible. Do I have spices? Do I have salt already? A lot of questions in this question. Okay, so lentils, short grain brown rice, frozen spinach, coconut, or should I go for avocados? But I feel like avocados are too perishable and I can't have those in the apocalypse. Frozen coconut or coconut milk, and then lemons or limes. Again, are those too perishable? I don't know. Maybe canned tomatoes then, or like boxed tomatoes, which I think maybe have less BPA in it. But honestly, I used to be a really big worrywart about BPA. Decided that the baby factory is closed. I don't really care about it so much anymore. So actually, that was why I was at the grocery store yesterday, was to get tomatoes, coconut milk, frozen spinach. It's pretty much all my food groups except for dairy, which maybe we don't actually need to eat dairy. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Nikki says, I made your copycat Chick-fil-A sandwich last night, but the breading was soggy. That you, after you coat them in the flour, that you let the chicken sit for a few minutes to sort of really let the flour adhere to it, like 20 minutes if you can do it, or even longer. And then, yeah, make sure it's hot. Let's see. Is this really a good tip? Oh, okay. Cookie Mix says she, I'm assuming, would pick fresh garlic and onions or alliums, olive oil, beans, salt, and rice. Yeah, you really took it strictly. Okay, let's see. My roasted chicken recipe is the bomb. Thanks, Anastasia. That's a nice name. I love that name. Okay. Any tips for scrambled eggs? Oh, that's why everyone's talking about scrambled eggs. Yeah. It depends on how you like them. I am not into moist scrambled eggs at all. I really like my eggs very well cooked. But I do them in my little tiny cast iron pan. This little number that was my great granny's, and I put it over medium-high heat, and I put a tablespoon of butter in it, and I always use butter. And I find that for some reason, I think it might be the saturated fat content or something, but for some reason, when I use oil instead of butter, it sticks, and it's terrible. I don't know. Anyway, tablespoon of butter. I let it get fully melted, and I let it even start to get a little bit foamy, and then I pour in, and I'm talking, 2 or 3 eggs max will I do in a skillet this size. And I to scrape the sides into the middle very slowly. And it usually takes 3 minutes for them to cook medium-high heat the way I like them. I know some people are like, you have to cook eggs low or else they get rubbery. But I've never noticed, or maybe I like rubbery eggs. I don't know. I feel like eggs are one of those things that, I don't know, I'm just not that picky about. I don't think I'm actually that picky about most food, but I don't know. Maybe that helps. Maybe it doesn't. I did do a video a long time ago about scrambled eggs, and I don't even remember what I said in that video, but this is how I do them now. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Turtle Head also likes hard scrambled eggs. Heck yeah. Oh, huevos rancheros recipe. Yes, somebody just mentioned that. That's a great idea. Whoa, I totally just lost my picture altogether. Is it still going? Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions, and I smell cake is ready. So look at that. It smells so good. It smells really good. It's too hot. I'm supposed to let it sit for 10 minutes before I cut it, but I'm gonna get a knife anyway. Because I'm living on the edge. Fuck it. See, I can say fuck it because my kid's not in the room. Just kidding. That kid actually knows how to cuss pretty well. And I just, it doesn't bother me. He's not like running around cussing all the time. But if he like gets frustrated, he's like, shit. And I'm like, you know what? It does help us feel better to cuss when something is frustrating. So go for it, kid. Well, all right. Freaking, oh my God. Look, so there should be more chocolate chips. But again, this is like ration cooking. This is what we're doing. There's one chocolate chip right there. All right. Oh, and also, so this recipe, just to do an extra test, I made it with water instead of milk or non-dairy milk or whatever, or coconut milk, just to see what would happen. So I will tell you how it compares to the one I made last time, which had hemp milk in it, because I like to get high when I eat food. Totally works. Oh man, y'all. So I was saying earlier, this is really good. Water is totally fine. You can totally make this with water. There we go. Everybody gets cake now. But I was saying earlier at the beginning that I like really haven't been that stressed out about the whole stay-at-home thing, and I actually just really like to stay at home. But for the last few nights, holy shit, I've been waking up with the sorest jaw muscles, and like my teeth hurt and my head hurts. And I've been like clenching my teeth at night. So obviously whatever I think I'm doing, I'm like, tra-la-la, this is fine. Like obviously it's like resonating in my jaw for some reason. So anyway, it like kind of hurts to chew. And I got out like my old night guard from years ago that doesn't quite fit anymore, but it's last night, and that helped a lot. Like at least my head didn't hurt, but like yesterday, man, I had a headache all day. And it was like, I could tell it was like directly related to these jaw muscles. So anyway, yeah, wow. My jaw is like so sore, I can barely eat cake. Oh, how's the baby and hubby? Oh, the baby is 5.5 now, and he was here earlier. I don't know if he wants to come out now. And Chris is behind the camera as usual. We have this new setup. We have 2 Blackmagic cameras, and what is it called, baby? The mini?
ATEM mini.
ATEM mini, ATEM, I think. That's like a little switchboard. So he's been back there behind the camera, switching it between camera A, camera B, camera 1, camera 2. What was that on Wayne's World? Wait, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, right? So he's been back there.
The whole thing's becoming much more like Wayne's World than it ever has.
He says this whole thing is becoming more like Wayne's World, and that's fine with me because I thought that was a fucking great movie. I read this really good article too about Tia Carrere, like what happened to her. Anyway, if you're looking for something to read that's not coronavirus related, go look up Tia Carrere and see what she's been up to. Oh my gosh, your birthday's next weekend. Oh, hi, Carlos. What have you been cooking, Carlos? You probably have some good ideas. Your birthday's next Sunday, Turtlehead. You could make yourself this banana cake. Let's see. Somebody's chasing down rodents. Oh, Bill. Yes. Oh, Texas caviar. Yes, hell yeah. I made that the other day too because I found a bag of frozen black-eyed peas that I meant to cook on New Year's. Oh my God, that's why this is all happening, y'all. It's because I forgot to cook our black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. I apologize. This is the bad luck. Just kidding. Sorry. But I did forget to cook black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. And I didn't have any jalapenos, which was sad. But I did have some red bell pepper and some canned jalapenos and some onion. So yeah, I made Texas caviar. It turned out real good. Okay, what else? Ooh, empanadas. That's a good idea. Yeah, tacos, a lot of tacos. I made sopes the other day. Oh, that's another thing. A lot of people are like, I can't get flour. But I bet you can get masa harina. I bet you can get tortilla flour. And I have a big jar of it. So I've been making sopes, which is like a fat tortilla. I have gorditas, which also uses that. You can make your own tortillas, of course, too. Also, make your own flour tortillas. If you do have flour, I've got a video for that. It's a really good recipe, and it's really fun for kids. But yeah, empanadas is a great idea. I have some frozen pie crust. Actually, I should do that. Let's see. Oh, waffles. Yes. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only person who skipped the black eyed peas. This is probably a community effort. We probably all fucked it up. Let's see, what else? Okay, any other questions? Yeah, I know. Sorry, the streaming's not working that great. Okay. Hi, Jay. Jade Okoro's here. What else? Okay, well, I don't know. So should I do this again? I know the streaming's kind of not working great, but I feel like that's just because everybody's on the internet right now. And also Los Angeles has surprisingly bad internet service. But yeah, so I could do this again. I was also thinking about maybe, so we're homeschooling, which isn't going well because Flint hates to do homework and worksheets and stuff, which I don't blame him. So instead of trying to teach him how to read, which I have no idea how to do, I've been doing little science projects with him. Oh, this is fun. I feel like I'm doing like a show and tell with my own house. But we made a solar oven yesterday and it actually worked. Like, I think a bigger box would be good. It said to use a pizza box, but I didn't have one. So we had this little like old other box that we used. So you line the inside with black construction paper to absorb heat, and then cut a window in the top. And this is, you can see it's covered with foil. And then I put 2 layers of saran wrap on the inside just to keep bugs out. So then you put a little plate in here. Yesterday we did a piece of bread with some butter on it. Put it in there. It was like 72 degrees outside. And then an hour later, this little thermometer said it was 86 degrees inside the box. And the butter was all melted and the toast was, honestly, was kind of dried out. I mean, it wasn't delicious, but it was warm. It was actually warm. And then you like close it. And then I used this little skewer to kind of just prop it up, just however high you need it to be so that the sun reflects onto the foil and down in through your little window. There's a leaf. Anyway, that was a really fun little project for homeschooling. So I was also thinking I could share some like homeschool science ideas with y'all, if that's helpful. If a lot of y'all have kids at home, maybe you don't. Maybe you're luckier. No, it's actually been really fun. I like hanging out with him. He's fun. But like stuff like that, like some little sciencey project. I know it's like not really normally what I do, but maybe I'll just stick to cooking. Hashtag stick to cooking, bitch. Okay. I guess that's all. Oh, go Rue. Rue's got to go help deliver a baby. You be safe too, and thank you for your service. Oh, a mayonnaise cake. I haven't ever made one, but I've heard of that. That is a good idea. Oh, mayo in a pie crust. That's a great idea. Oh, I love how y'all are just like talking to each other. That's so sweet. I do love this. Well, thanks for everybody being so nice and fun and cool to each other, especially right now. Oh, Joanie, I love you too. Oh, man. Joanie's here. She was our Brazilian friend who was also Flint's nanny for a long time, and we miss her so much. But we did a whole bunch of Brazilian videos with her. We did pão de queijo. We did moqueca, which is like a seafood coconut stew. We did coxinha. That's probably a really good flour dough. And then like you just need a little bit of chicken to fill it and some breadcrumbs, and you deep fry it. And okay, that could be a good one. What else did we make? Oh, brigadeiro, which is like a chocolate candy, which also could be a good little quarantine food because I think it only had 3 ingredients. Okay, got some votes. We got some votes for the science projects. Okay, cool. Oh, somebody made a joke about a bathroom. So this was, I had these Petri dishes because Flint wanted to do Petri dish experiments a while back, and I just remembered they were in the fridge still. This is so gross. So I drew a line in half and like Flint versus Mama, and we both went and washed our hands and then touched the Petri dishes, and his is way more germy than mine is, for one thing. Like 2 days ago, his had stuff. Mine didn't have anything on it a couple days ago, so mine is slower growing. But what shocked me was that we didn't actually have the same bacteria. Because I did the same experiment in like freshman year of college, where our little lab partners, we divided a Petri dish into 4 and everybody touched one section. And then this seems like so gross to think back about it, but I'm pretty sure we each then got another dish and each kissed a section. And like almost across the board, everybody in class had the same fucking germs on their hands and their mouths. And I was like, whoa, humanity, community, this makes me feel part of the human race. This, however, makes me think that my kid is disgusting. But we all know that kids are. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, Robert just sent me $10. Oh, Jen's here about cornmeal earlier. Oh, edibles recipes. Yeah, because I weed and I don't want to smoke it because I'm worried about my lungs now. Hi, Amanda. My auntie Amanda. I almost said my aunt, but not my aunt. Robert just gave me $10 for being awesome. So thank you, Robert. But also, I was thinking if we do this again, I think there's a way, not your first time, but I think in going forward, live streams, we could set up a donation to where it goes to like some sort of nonprofit. So I was thinking either like a restaurant workers like relief fund for people that have been laid off from restaurant work, or like maybe one of the organizations that's trying, like No Kid Hungry or something, like one of those ones that's trying to feed all the kids that are not in school anymore, that no longer get the free lunch that I used to get. So, and also research into YouTube if it's possible how to set that up. But thank you, Robert. Okay. Okay, well, fuck. Well, fuck. I don't know. This was fun. I'll try to do this again. Sorry about the video quality, but I'm going to peace out now. And I hope you make the cake. And the recipe's on my website. And I'll start working on a playlist, a YouTube playlist for like quarantine food for y'all too, with all the ones that I talked about and suggested. Guys, bye. What?